Yo, what's going on, guys? And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming fight that's going to be happening this week, Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. I think this is a really stupid fight, but also at the same time, it's easy pickings for Jake Paul. So we know Jake Paul likes to take the Floyd Mayweather route when it comes to things, where he likes to pick and choose certain opponents and he fights them at a really good time. Okay, that's what Floyd did in his career. He would fight certain opponents, he would pick and choose when to fight them, and he would fight them at a time that would be convenient for him. Only difference is that obviously Floyd beat actual legitimate world champions and Jake Paul is beating old men essentially, so that's a massive difference there. But that's what he's doing. He's picking Chavez Jr. and he's gonna fight him at a time that's gonna be very easy for Jake to beat him. He's gonna be very beatable at this stage in his career, because think about Chavez Jr., right? You know, he, first of all, I don't even think he was a legitimate world champion. He was just gifted a belt, okay? I don't think he actually had the skill set of other world champions. Like, dude, he fought Canelo, and like, okay, fair play. Like, you went 12 rounds with Canelo, but that was only because you weren't fighting him. You know, like, I mean, it wasn't as bad as like William Skull, what he did recently with Canelo, but it was still pretty bad. Like, he wasn't engaging in that fight. He wasn't there to leave his heart out there and to go out like a warrior. Like, no, he quite literally just came for a moral victory and a paycheck. So he wasn't really trying to compete with Canelo in that sense. And obviously we saw what Daniel Jacobs did to him. However, these are world champions we're talking about. Canelo, you know, Danny Jacobs, like, these are world champions. Jake Paul's not a world champion, right? So why would I pick Jake Paul to win? Well, let's look at some of his later fights, right? If you guys remember, Jake Paul fought Anderson Silva back in the day. And I thought that was a good win for Jake Paul, by the way, because at that time in Jake Paul's career, he was kind of looked at as like a influencer boxer, and like people weren't really taking him seriously or giving him a lot of credit. And at that time, I thought Anderson Silva was a good step up for Jake Paul. I thought out of all the other UFC fighters he's fought, you know, Tyron Woodley, and even some of the recent guys he's fought, like Nate Diaz or Mike Perry, I thought out of all of them, Anderson Silva was the best, boxing-wise. And, you know, he still gave Jake a pretty tough fight, even though Jake won. I thought it was a test for Jake, and Jake won that fight. Fair play. That was a good win for Jake. But I'm talking about this because Anderson Silva, his last fight before Jake, he fought Chavez Jr., okay? And he didn't just fight him, he beat him. Styled on the guy, okay? 46-year-old man, and he styled on Chavez Jr. And he was like, I don't even know, 35 years old at the time, so he wasn't completely washed, right? He was 35. Like, you would think Chavez Jr. would make easy work out of Anderson Silva, and he just did fuck all. He didn't do anything. But that's not the only fight. Let's look at his more recent fights, where he's actually fighting at cruiserweight, I think. I don't know what he fought at when he fought Anderson Silva. I think he was probably cruiserweight in that fight too, I think. Maybe not cruiser. Well, I don't know. I think he was like 185 or something. I don't know. But I know he fought at cruiserweight to fight Uriah Hall, another ex-UFC fighter. And, you know, again, like, he didn't even look that good in that fight. And did you see his physique, by the way? He looked retarded. He was built like an eggplant, okay? You could tell he's not a cruiserweight, okay? And you could tell he doesn't have power at that weight because that's not his natural weight class. See, Jake Paul, he is a cruiserweight, right? He is a cruiserweight. He's a natural cruiserweight. You know, I see a lot of people say stuff about Jake, like, oh, he's actually a light heavyweight. He could fight light. No, bro, he can't fight at that weight. He would literally kill himself. No, he is a cruiserweight. He is a guy that can fight at the lowest, like 195. I don't even think Jake can make 190 anymore. Like, he can fight at the lowest 195, and he feels comfortable fighting at 200 pounds. You know what I mean? I mean, he fought Mike Tyson, my guy. And he was 230 pounds when he fought Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? So Jake Paul is more of a natural cruiserweight than Chavez Jr., which means he's going to be able to take his power, and the power he's going to give is going to be more devastating. Now, Chavez Jr. should be a better boxer than Jake, right? He's more experienced. He's fought at a higher level than Jake ever has, right? I mean, he went 12 rounds with Canelo, so that says something about his defense, right? But this is not the same Chavez Jr. This version of Chavez Jr. is 38, 39, pushing 40 years old. Like, he's not going to be the same guy that fought Canelo, obviously. Like, this is going to be a completely different fighter. He's not even going to be the same guy that fought Anderson Silva, to be honest. Maybe that version of Chavez Jr. would have beat Jake Paul, but the version we have of him now, I don't know, man. The only way I see Chavez Jr. winning this fight is if he's actually taking it seriously and he's training his heart out, like, which I don't see him doing that. Like, most of Jake Paul's opponents have a really bad habit of underestimating him as like a Disney kid, a YouTuber, and then they get in the ring with him and realize he's actually a little bit better than they thought, right? They feel his power and they realize, oh shit, this guy ain't no YouTuber, right? So, you know, if Chavez Jr. falls under that trap, man, he's going to get moved to, son. He'll get knocked out. I'm being dead ass right now. I think Jake Paul either knocks him out or he probably goes to a decision with him. But I do see a world where the fight is, like, sloppy. It don't look good. You know, kind of like Woodley and Jake won, where Jake wins but doesn't look good. Sloppy fight, not very entertaining to watch. I could see the fight looking like that. Maybe Chavez Jr. even does beat Jake. Maybe, who knows? I'm not counting out the possibility, but I'm just saying it's unlikely because, again, he did not look good against Uriah Hall. I mean, come on, man. Uriah Hall went the distance with a football player in a boxing match. Like, Uriah Hall is shit at boxing, okay? And, you know, you'd think Chavez Jr. would be able to do something to him in the fight. No, bro, he couldn't do anything, and he couldn't do anything to Anderson Silva. Bro, he lost to Anderson Silva, lost to a grandpa, son. You know, what do you? I don't know. Jake Paul, I don't think he's a better boxer than Jake, or rather, I don't think Jake Paul is a better boxer than Chavez Jr. He doesn't have, like, he shouldn't have at least the same boxing ability as him because the lack of experience he has. Chavez Jr. has way more experience than Jake Paul. But you know, Chavez Jr. has killed his body with drugs and inactivity, and also he's jumping up in weight to fight Jake at a weight class that he doesn't belong in, that he's not natural in. Like, it's just all wrong for Chavez Jr. It's all pointing towards a Jake win. That's just what it is. You know, you can say whatever you want about his experience, but that experience is not going to matter when you've been killing your body with drugs and you've been inactive in the ring for like years. That experience won't matter at all. Okay, Jake Paul, he's a more active fighter. He's someone that is improving his skill set. He's someone that is, you know, like I just said, like he's just fighting. He's in there. He's doing his thing. Chavez Jr. has not been doing any of that. He's not going to be... Do you think Chavez Jr. is going to be as dedicated as Jake to train? No, he won't. He's done this. He's been there. He's been at the highest level. He ain't going to get out of bed for Jake. You really think that? No, he won't. Why would he? He didn't get out of bed for Anderson Silva. He didn't get out of bed for Uriah Hall. Why would he get out of bed for Jake? You know, at most, he's probably doing what he should be doing in training. You know, just training, right? Getting in shape. But is he training his heart out? Is he treating Jake Paul like he's a threat? No, he isn't. But you know, Jake Paul's training like a dog. You know that. You know that, though. You know that. That's why Jake's going to win this fight. Because he's probably more hungry than Chavez Jr. He's training harder. He's the bigger guy, right? This guy he's fighting, fucking Chavez Jr., looks like shit at cruiserweight. He doesn't look good. Look at his body. He looks like crap, okay? He's not going to be able to... Not only is he not going to be able to really hurt Jake, but I don't even think... He won't be able to take the power well from Jake. Because Jake's naturally the bigger guy, the harder puncher. It's all leading to a Jake Paul win, okay? So that's the reason why I picked Jake to win. either by knockout or by a decision, and maybe a sloppy decision too. By the way, I think he might win sloppily, but he still gets it done. Maybe, just putting that out there. So yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.